Hello and welcome back to the program. My next guest is Henry Jacobs. He's with the Chattahoochee Riverkeepers. And Henry, welcome to the show. I believe your title is Middle Chattahoochee Outreach Director. Is that correct?
Correct.
So what do you do with the Riverkeepers here in the LaGrange area?
Right, yeah, so we're glad to be working in this area, LaGrange, West Point Lake, and in general the Middle Chattahoochee region, which is really working downstream of Atlanta as the Chattahoochee River flows into West Point Lake. And yeah, it's a good mix of monitoring, making sure that the water quality is healthy in the Chattahoochee and West Point Lake, and then also education. I know we'll talk about later a floating classroom that we've been running on West Point Lake for a couple of years now, having a lot of success with that.
Very successful, yes.
But yeah, glad to be here and to catch up.
Sure. Real quick for our viewers who might not be familiar with the Riverkeepers, how did it get started and kind of the main focus of your mission with the Riverkeepers?
Yeah, and it's a point I always like to share. Kind of my role too is as the outreach director, being available to the community. Oftentimes I get to speak to groups. And so talking about Riverkeeper, we're in our 24th year.
Wow, that's great.
Which is exciting. And our work really started back in the early 90s in Atlanta, metro Atlanta area, and addressing issues that were harming the Chattahoochee River, and really, West Point Lake being downstream of one of the largest urban areas in the southeast in the country.
That's right.
Riverkeeper made it #1 priority to address the issues with sewage overflowing into the Chattahoochee River. And that really, throughout the 90s, a lawsuit was led by Riverkeeper, and we got a lot of people together, plaintiffs, folks from LaGrange, from on down the river all the way to where the Chattahoochee flows into Apalachicola.
That's right.
So we had folks from Florida, everybody was working together on that one to address the issues in Atlanta. And that lawsuit was a success, and the city of Atlanta has spent over $2 billion upgrading infrastructure in the city, which has also kind of had some indirect benefits to Atlanta as far as development goes. And for me, the biggest message I like to share with folks here in LaGrange and on the lake is that was $2 billion plus invested in a healthier and cleaner West Point Lake.
That's
which
right.
It is today and has been really for the last decade. And that, a healthier lake, a healthier river also equates to higher property values, and it's got a lot of kind of trickle down benefits to it. But putting the river kind of at the top of our Riverkeepers' priority, but knowing that it's not just our staff of about 24 people, but it's all the volunteers who are helping with cleanups and helping us collect water samples, and then the thousands of people who are coming on our floating classroom and kind of seeing it for themselves and wanting to be better water stewards themselves.
Sure. And I know when I moved here in '92, kind of got a bad rap here, oh, that lake's polluted and so forth and so on. But it's definitely much improved now. The water quality is better, and you do testing here at West Point Lake throughout the year. So what's your tests reveal?
Right now, and what we've been seeing, it's an ongoing trend that the lake is healthy. And yeah, this is something I want to share every time I talk to people. Because yeah, you kind of mentioned it, the way people perceive or talk about West Point Lake, whether in person or on social media. The lake, we still have a ways to go as far as getting people up to speed on West Point Lake and the fact that it's healthy. But that if we want to keep it that way, we have to be out there, not only enjoying the lake just on a summer day, but also getting involved with cleanups and just anything that's available. But yeah, you mentioned the water monitoring that we do, and so Riverkeeper, we have a number of staff primarily responsible for making sure we're collecting water samples. We've got a lab here at our office in LaGrange on the downtown square, as well as one in Atlanta. And we have another outreach office in the Headwaters, Gainesville, Georgia area. But yeah, we're collecting samples weekly, usually Wednesday mornings typically. And we find that people who are able to give their time, volunteer their time on a Wednesday morning, college students, high school students, as well as folks who are retired and are looking for something to do for a couple hours, collect water sample either on the river, tributary creeks that feed into the river and the lake, which are really important to monitor, and bring those samples to our office, and we process them. And
kind of brings the community in together.
Yeah, we've found that's been a really great thing about the program, is not just having the data now, which it's on our website, available to the public, and anytime someone is curious to know more about it, there's a lot of numbers and stuff. But you know, staff, you know, I would love to help explain what you're looking at, which is we're seeing the data that says the lake is clean.
That's good.
The river is clean. The great majority of the time, which is to say, when you get these big rainstorms during the, you know, any time of the year, right after a big rainstorm, you know, the river will typically turn muddy, and you might have some debris in the water, whether it's limbs or just branches. So that's when you want to be careful. Are those very kind of unique times right after a big heavy rain. And that's
wait for things to settle down.
Right, and that's just, you know, public health and safety is really just in that small window of time.
That's right.
But anytime the sun's out and the water looks like something looks good, you know, go for it.
Right, exactly. So talking about bringing the community together, I want to talk about National Public Lands Day, which is coming up September 22nd, and the Corps of Engineers works closely with the Chattahoochee Riverkeepers in helping to keep our shoreline picked up. Trash around the lake that floats down here from Atlanta, and even what's generated here along the shorelines of West Point Lake.
It's a combination.
With bank fishers. So do we have a lot of trash out there right now around the shoreline of West Point Lake?
We have, we would love to have volunteers helping us. Keeping the shorelines clean.
That's right.
And I know, we're excited to partner with y'all this September.
22nd.
Which is the big one of the year.
That's right.
But also, too, I know there are other cleanups throughout the year if people want to get involved, but especially kind of, I feel like your cleanup on September 22nd kind of kicks off the season, because
that's right.
And I kind of go back to public safety. I think the fall and winter times are probably the
best time,
ideal time to be out cleaning up along the shoreline, and so we're looking forward to.
And one thing with that too, the reason why the fall and winter is the best time is because, you know, the lake level comes down in the winter months, so it's safer access to the shore. I know we've had several high water events this year, and so a lot of debris kind of moved around and trash. People want to get out there and pick up trash, but they just can't get to it because the water level is up. Most of the shoreline is covered and they can't safely get to it. So really encourage people to come out for National Public Lands Day on September 22nd. We had a really successful year last year. We did this in a holiday campground, and we provided free camping for any volunteer, and people can do that again this year. The park will be actually closed, but we open it up for the weekend for people wanting to participate in the shoreline cleanup or other aspects of National Public Lands Day. We're going to build some fisher tractors. We're going to probably send some people out by boats to clean some remote areas of the shore. And I believe Henry here might get together a group of people who have kayaks and go out to some remote areas and pick up trash as well. We want it to be a fun day event, but we want the community to come together and really just take part in cleaning up our shoreline around West Point Lake, because it is a beautiful lake. And I've been here 28 years, and a great place to work. And so glad to have the Riverkeepers here partnering with us to work hard in this effort. A neat incentive we're going to have after the cleanup is Miss Sally, which is the Riverkeeper's boat on West Point Lake. Can hold a number of people. Tell us a little bit about what you're going to provide there after the cleanup.
Yeah, we have our floating classroom on West Point Lake, and excited for those who come help clean up on September 22nd. Yeah, we'll have our floating classroom available, given 15, 20-minute ride out on the lake,
Okay.
which is something we are very glad to offer. And yeah, and it's kind of, that reflects what the program is all about for us, is getting people on West Point Lake, whether it's students, which we primarily want to serve throughout the school year, and which we've done now for 3 years, and we've had over 10,000 students, teachers, and adults on this boat, which can hold up to 40 people at a time, and it was done. The program was brought here to West Point Lake because Chattahoochee Riverkeeper, our staff, our board, really wanted to help educate current and future generations, just to give them 2-3 hours on the lake.
Sure.
And for one, to hear kind of what we're talking about, the history of the lake, give them binoculars, let them see the wildlife that is out there and that is flourishing.
There's plenty of that, yes.
The birds, and then to do 2 simple water tests, whether it's pH, dissolved oxygen, but showing students that the lake water quality is healthy, and reinforcing that message that we want to keep trash out of the lake.
Sure.
And also keeping trash off our roadways is a great way to prevent that trash from eventually ending up in our lake. So connecting these kind of threads, and then above all, it's just kind of, a lot of people don't have access to a boat.
Yeah.
A lot of kids, it's their first time on a boat. Our boat captain loves those kids when they're, he'll kind of speed up real quick, and the look on a lot of kids' faces. So it's a good thing that we've been glad to provide to the community.
And I've been out there, and it is a wonderful program. So if someone's interested, how can they try to schedule a program to go out on this boat?
Yeah, that easy enough. Just give us a call at our office in LaGrange. I can list the number. It's 706-882-3701. Easier maybe, just visit our website at chattahoochee.org.
Okay.
And give a call. Either you'd reach me, or Laura Breifogel is our program coordinator.
Okay.
And ourselves, and we've got about nearly a dozen instructors, boat captains, people who are ready to either, if you're a school group, have a nice program for a range of ages. We've got a number of different programs for elementary, middle, high school, college even, and so and then too, guided lake tours for anybody, any group of maybe 15 to 30 people. Okay. We've had family reunions. We've had civic clubs, church groups.
Great.
It's available to all who are interested and want to participate.
Okay. Henry, we're out of time. I want to thank you for being on our show. Looking forward to National Public Lands Day. Again, that's going to be September 22nd. And if you're interested in participating in that, please give our office a call at 706-645-2937. Henry, thanks for being on the show, and we'll be right back.